So, right, guys, I stumbled upon tonight's guest, Antony Szmierek, as a Spotify recommendation, and he's a music producer from Manchester. Have I pronounced that second name right?
Absolutely not.
Oh, no.
Not. Well, this is gonna be a thing that everyone's got a new way of saying it, but yeah. I don't. Right. So, a little short, quick disclaimer on it. Polish, but I don't know any. I don't know any of that side of my family. Right. I didn't really expect to be in. I know I've just jumped in here in the middle of your introduction.
It's fine.
It's Szmierek, right? So it's the SZ is a sh, like Szmierek, like rhymes with Derek.
Yeah.
But I didn't know forever. I never knew my dad, never knew that side of my family. So I've never known myself how to pronounce it. And now there's like on podcast or on the radio, and I'm like, just say it how you want, man. I don't really. Can I swear on this?
Mate, yeah, it's sound, mate. It's sound.
I don't give a shit. It's fine.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Anyway, so how are you doing? How's things been going for you?
I'm good. I've just sort of been thrust into all this. It's mad you found the stuff on Spotify, eh?
It's like to be honest, man. I listen to like my genres in Spotify just like totally vary. Like it can be like drill, it can be like garage. I don't know, like it just anything, to be honest. And it was actually a Hitchhiker's Guide to Fallacy that I stumbled upon. But like there's like I was listening to more of your stuff last night, obviously ahead of today, like working classic and stuff's just brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, tar, man. Yeah, it's been weird. Like that tune went mad. Obviously, Hitchhiker. It's gone from like no one knowing who I was to like a few people knowing who I was. Like a few people have been like, you know, at the right gig or in the right scenario, someone will be like, "Oh, you Antony Szmierek?" I'm like, "Gas, like, yes, man."
Yeah.
A million drinks. But yeah, it's all been an accident, really. Like that tune, Hitchhiker, was supposed to be the intro for the EP. So that's why there's like no hook on it. I've not sang on it, or it's literally just this like stream of consciousness. Like I guess everyone's just like it's Mike Skinner vibe.
So was that you were saying? So was that like just like an interlude sort of thing that was meant to be like a minute long, tops half a minute, and then you just started like?
Yeah, it's written it not that. It was a couple of days before I was in the studio. Basically, we were recording this other tune that's not made it on the EP. We've not finished it, or actually made it. It was called Last Train Back, and it's like this. That was supposed to be like a garage sort of UK garage heater sort of thing, a bit like Working Classic in some days. And then we couldn't make it work. We couldn't get anywhere with it. So I was going through my notes app and like firing stuff out to my producer Dean, and like just trying to make him laugh. Really, I was like, because there's just mad shit written in there, obviously.
Yeah.
I think I've forgotten like what they mean.
Yeah.
And then I had Hitchhiker's Guide to the Fallacy written down, and he gave me this glimmer of like, it wasn't a big like, man, that's sick. It was just like, oh right, yeah, that's pretty good. And I was like, I'm gonna write that. So yeah, it was just the intro. It was how it is on the record. It was me, even like a few lines in there were kind of like semi-improvised in the studio. So I didn't think it was going to be anything. I genuinely didn't. I really didn't think that tune was going to be anything. And then obviously, as it always happens, that's the one that has taken on.
Was it one take?
It was.
Was it? No
way. Yeah, there's a few that are. I've got a really embarrassing mug here. It says, "Oh dear" on it, and there's some deer antlers. Christmas gift. So apologies.
That's cool. Well, I mean, we're coming into the Christmas season now, anyway.
Sooner in Glasgow, as well, I imagine.
Oh, mate, it's the temperature's dropping. It's mad because, like, 2 weeks ago, I ended up coming down with a cold, but it was just because of the drop in temperature, and I was just like, and like I had like a swimming competition on like the Saturday, so I was like, I'm just gonna rest up the full week, like not. And like the stupidest thing was, I did train for it once in a lock, like it's an open water swimming competition.
Oh,
so Yeah. So I probably shouldn't have trained for it, but like it was one of those ones I was just like, fuck it. Like I paid 25 quid to do the event, may as well go for it. And smashed it and came first, man. So I was buzzing.
Oh, come on, man. Fucking brilliant.
With a cold, bro. With a cold.
Love that. What's the word you have up there for when it's like grey and miserable? Dreek.
Yeah, it's very dreek. Yeah, dreek.
Good word, that, man.
Have you been to Glasgow before?
I haven't, but I've got family in Glasgow. I've been, like my actual genetic makeup is I'm half English, quarter Polish, quarter Scottish, and my family are from that's why I'm there. I was like, he's Scottish. I got to go and do it for the family.
Yeah.
They're from somewhere there's millions of them. My grandma was a big. She was like one of 16 kids. She had like I've got loads of fucking cousins up there that I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I've got friends in Glasgow, and I've never been. I don't know how I've managed, but like it's a big. I really want to like gig up there. Been to Edinburgh, but obviously everyone's like that's pretty much England.
Because like Glasgow is its own kind of vibe. Like so, like say if you were to like kind of gig, like everyone in Glasgow before you, like if you're a big act, it's always like here we
yeah, man,
go, like and then like everyone's like pure buzzing about it, man. You're like see to be an artist to come onto that, it must be some buzz, man. Everyone's proper up for it.
Always like that's a big thing. I mean, like I'm a big music fan, as you were saying before, in terms of like it's my hobby. Like it's everything, like being up to date with music or whatever. And I bounce. You probably hear that in the rest of like the tunes and you listen to them, even though this one is like a house tune or whatever, working classics garage. Like I'm a big like indie kid. I'm like big like that's what I grew up listening to. I used to have like fucking long hair down to here and everything. I'm banging into everything. So like all of that scene. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they're from Glasgow. There's a band. Are they from fucking Edinburgh? Retro Video Club. They're called. They're like they're not that big, but I saw them. In Edinburgh. I was there like on my own. I was writing actually. I used to go up to Edinburgh and write on my own. I saw them, and the crowd was mad. They came out to Freed from Desire. It was like,
yeah.
Everyone was like, I was like, these people are fucking mental. But that's good, man. It is like it reminds me of Manchester, I think, in vibe or what I get from it in terms of like there's not much to go and look at touristy wise, but like if you know where to go and like the people are sound and all that sort of stuff.
So it's some buzz. Like I mean, like see, like let's play like the last guest I had on the podcast. They were from Glasgow, but like they're a TikTok collective, and they're called Jamaica Street. So they just make funny videos, and like there's a street in Glasgow called Jamaica Street. So like kind of like it's quite good, but like. It's funny because they were saying like there's always something happening. See, the weekend in Jamaica Street is bouncing. Like there's always stuff going on, man. So any pub you go into on a Saturday night, Friday night, there's always some buzz about it in Glasgow. It's just
I need to get up, man. I've got a friend up here, Kate, and she was always like telling me about all these like after hours like raves and stuff in like, warehouses and all that sort of stuff, which I'm all about. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Hopefully, fucking tell all your mates, and hopefully I get to play.
Mate, to be honest, I've never been to Manchester before. I've been to Liverpool, but
we'll do a swap like The Holiday, that Jack Black film.
And
we'll both fall in love with someone. Hopefully, that's what we'll do. We'll just do I was going to say Parent Trap, but that's not the right thing. We don't want The Holiday. We'll swap. You can be in this horrible, non-decorated bedroom of mine. If you've got, I mean, I have noticed you've got a shelf behind you. There's
a big shelf.
There's that on it. Nothing on your shelf.
I don't need books.
You don't even need books. Get some. What can I suggest?
I've got a plant. I've got a plant now.
I mean, it's so sad there on its own, though, man.
Do you know what? It's not even new.
I mean, that's fine. I'd be more suspicious of you if you had a real plant, because I've never been able to keep a plant alive, and it baffles me that people can. So I'd be like, oh, you must be. I don't know, a psychopath. We're alienate everyone's got plants. I just don't know how people do it, man.
Yeah, definitely, mate. So obviously you sort of mentioned about like about like sort of you've got family in Glasgow, family all over, Polish and stuff. What was life sort of like growing up in Manchester? Yeah,
man, like good, like fine. You know, I've never like had like my mum is an angel, so my mum looked after us. My mum, we had like there was stuff that would have been difficult. You know, we didn't have much money. My dad left. Like when we were like 4. Like, so my dad's where I get my name Szmierek from, but we've never known him. He passed away about 10 years ago, but we never knew him, so it wasn't like his big sad event. Like we just someone who died or whatever. Which is a place to come at it from. But all of the stuff that would have been difficult when we were younger, we were sheltered from by my mum, because my mum's amazing. So I never didn't feel like I had a difficult upbringing. Didn't feel like I had a bad time. But if someone was, I guess, like not as strong as my mum or whatever, it probably would have been. You know, difficult or whatever. But I have good memories from being a kid and like growing up working class. And I think that's what that tune's about, the one that we just put out. It's celebrating it and not being like, oh, this was shit, or like we're always like, you know, we had no money. It's like there's not that. what I remember is coming home from school and like having a bag of Skips and watching The Simpsons.
Simpsons at 6 and all that.
Yeah. So I was trying to like, and that line is, it's like every day The Simpsons at 6, and there's a Fresh Prince line, and then police round at 7 dusting for Prince. It was like, I remember like watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that used to be on after The Simpsons on like channel 2, and then our house got burgled, so we were watching that, and then the police were in dusting for fingerprints everywhere. So it was like this weird juxtaposition of like being happy, but then we were fighting against, I guess, these you know, difficulties of growing up in like not the best place.
So how did you sort of then progress? So you obviously said you've always been into music. How did you get into the sort of production of it?
Yeah, mad, really. Like, it's not just I mean, I do have my producer Robin Parker. Shout out, big up. I'm a mate Dean now, who's like the studio we've been using. You very quickly have to start doing everything properly if people like it. So like, it was a lot of me. I've got loads of it here actually. There's like this little tiny box, a Volca sample.
Yeah. Is that the one with like the drum beats and stuff on it as well?
Yeah,
like,
man. Yeah. £100, and it's like battery powered, basically. And I started making. I made Working Classic on there, like a 132 BPM garage, like skippy beat, and then a piano, which is there, but I won't hold out.
Yeah.
Piano. So I started making that, and then I'd kind of get them to a good position where I thought I could take. That's as far as I could take the song, like production wise, because I'm not a producer, a poet and a lyricist and a singer, really. So I get them as far as I could, because then I felt like I owned them, and it was like my melodies and my chords and stuff. And sent it over to Robin, and Robin had just like remake exactly as I'd done it, structure wise and everything, but remake it and make it sound sick. So that was how it all worked initially. And then with other stuff, with like Hitchhiker, it was more. I was listening to a lot of like Barry Can't Swim, Fred Again. Who else?
He's blowing up right now, man. Fred Again.
I saw him last week at Warehouse Project here. Yeah, I've seen him a few times. He is insane. He's like, he's like can create emotion really well in a song that you're getting, you know, that you're dancing to or whatever, and you're vibing to it. But it's like some of it's sad, and like it brings these perfect. That's what the streets were always good at as well. Yeah, you know, Blinded by the Lights makes me feel as anxious as it does excited when it comes on. I remember that time I had a dodgy pill, and I'm like, I feel like shit now or whatever. I don't know. I quite like that those juxtapositions, and that's kind of what I'm always trying to make. I want to make something a bit of both. I think that you know.
That's definitely.
Yeah.
So obviously growing up, you mentioned sort of the streets and stuff like that. Do you have any other sort of influences?
Yeah, man, like Arctic Monkeys, like I guess like people, I guess if they just listen to a few of the tunes, maybe wouldn't expect. But like lyrically, Alex Turner was always like what I wanted to be like when I was like in my late teens and early 20s.
They're going through a bit of a transition just now, though. The Arctic Monkeys.
I love it, man.
But I think the Mirrorball thing could be a Bond tune. It literally could be. It's good.
I reckon people do struggle with it, but he's like older now. He's like 37 or whatever. Like,
yeah, he's not gonna be doing brainstorm and all that sort of stuff.
And I also think that moving forward as an artist, like they've got Brainstorm. They play Brainstorm every gig. They play dance floor. They're not playing these tunes. Like you've already got that song, so you work on like what you've got missing. And I know people do have. I actually can see why people don't like the newer stuff and Tranquility Base but I love it. I think it's in fairness, Tranquility Base, the first tune on that album, Star Treatment, is just a piano, and it's kind of like a spoken word track. And that was the big thing where I was like, in lockdown, I was like, well, that's kind of what I'm already doing poetry. It's like, and I know poetry sounds wanky. It does sound wanky.
So like, did you study that at uni, or did you just like?
Nah, man.
No, you just.
I did English at uni because it was the thing that I was best at. I went to uni, so I didn't have to share a bedroom with my little brother anymore. Like, I live with him now. To be fair, we lived together. He plays guitar in the band. We're really close, but like, never had my own space. You know, terraced house. So it's kind of all fleet. And like the poetry is a weird thing it does sound wanky, I think, sometimes, and it gives an impression of what someone's like. But I guess some people just say it's writing bars, some people say it's writing lyrics. I don't shy away from saying it's poetry now because it is just rhyming stuff together. And that track, that Star Treatment track, to like loop back, I was like, I can do that. So I started making it, and I was like, I've always wanted to be in a band, but I'd missed it, and I was like, well, let's fucking do it now then. And there was something horrible about like, well, not something. The whole thing was horrible, like lockdown. It was grim, but then there was all of these things like in me as somebody like overthinks things a lot. I missed going out dancing. I missed gigs, missed raves, and I had the time to make stuff. So I don't know. It was the best opportunity really for me in a lot of ways. And there's a lot of people I've met now and other artists who've come up doing that. I met these lads the other day. Should check them out. They're called Jacana People, like GAC. And I've got a tune coming with them. They supported Porridge down there the other day. And they started as well. And I watched them with their live set. And they're a bit like Bicep. You know, there's two of them and they'd like twiddling loads of
yeah.
Beautiful sort of electronic music.
Yeah, it's like Bicep and F Jack. Like they don't really do the traditional like just spinning records and mixing them in. They just they like loop samples, and that's probably a more creative way of doing it because they don't know where the live set's gonna actually take them, like a kink, like Kink or something.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you hear those songs on the radio, or you hear them on like Spotify. There's like Caribou. It sounds just like a dance track that someone's just programmed on like a DAW, and then you see Caribou live, and there's like 7 of them, and it's like Radiohead, and they use it. It's all live, and that's what Bicep. That's what Fred's doing. You know, he's got his live samples in. That's what all these like you see on TikTok and stuff, and it's like this guy looks fucking mint because they play it live, and that's kind of we're trying to do that now. Like I don't do it on when we're performing live. It's not just me and a backing track or like someone on like CDJs, which I get that vibe. I go to a lot of like events where I see someone shelling the place down, and I see someone wheeling it up. That's not what I'm doing. It is, and people are still just trying to figure out what it is I'm doing. But it's a band, and it is like an indie. It is an indie. It's like trying to make garage and house music with a band. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. So. Fair enough. No, but like I was to be honest, I was actually listening to like an interview Kano did on a podcast. Mate, he's legend, man, legend. Did you watch Top Boy?
Yeah, man. He's at my all time Kano. Like he's
quality.
Insane. Yeah, I did watch Top Boy. So good in that.
Yeah, but like I mean, like what he was saying is like almost we're talking about like just the Arctic Monkeys there. They're kind of progressing on. He's like I'm not really thinking just about like what would just be a banger. It's like okay, I could do that, but then what will like I produce that will have me around in 10 years time sort of thing. So it's like moving with the times of like him producing music. I think like that's maybe something as well. Like is that something you kind of think about?
Yeah, for sure. Like there's things I've resisted in terms of tunes and like watching a lot of bands and watching a lot of acts and stuff, and I'm like, well, I could do a tune like that. But it'll die off in like 18 months. And it's not like being snide on other people. It's like, you know, like trap and like I listen to some. I don't really listen to American stuff, to be fair. I like a lot of UK based stuff when it comes to rap. Like Kano, Little Sims. Yeah. You know, Gigs is one of my favorites. But you don't see them doing this like trap like stuff and you know with like the triplets and the hi hats and stuff. Because it is like a bit of a trend, I think, and there's
like drill music and stuff. You kind of
there's a time and place to drill. Like me and my mates in the group chat send each other drill tunes all the time, and we like not the time audience for it at all. But we like fuck that. That's fucking mint, and I love that.
Yeah.
For me, with like drill, it needs to be like the sillier it is. I love it. It's like stupid lyrics. Like look at what Central C is doing with these tunes, and it's like it's daft, and I'm like that's shit, and like in a weird way, like I wouldn't be able to do that. But I want it to be audacious, and I want it to be like provocative, to borrow a Kanye West and Jay-Z thing. But yeah, I love drill. I love grime. I like it was just like different types of music for different times of I don't know, our moods. And like I guess with you training and that, I guess you want something that's gonna like get you hyped. You're not gonna be listening to Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino when you training.
Like lo-fi house or something like that. I'm not gonna be listening to that. Yeah.
Kind of not the time, is it?
To be honest, like see some drum music, it's actually quite good for like training or something. Like it has its time and place. Like but if you go to the gym, like you bash out like put on a drum playlist or something.
Before I quit the gym again, which I tend to just like go in and out of having time, and recently was like I'm not even fucking going, and I'd fobbed it off again.
Mate, you're saving heating costs, but if you go for a shower in the gym, that's what.
Yeah. I was who was it? There was like one of my big gym tunes was Heady One. It's like Back to Basics. It was a remix. But it was so good in the gym. Felt like I was like a Terminator for 10 minutes. It was so good. And I'm not. I'm 5'8", and I'm not an intimidating stature.
Yeah. Obviously, you said something like your music's kind of linked to garage. I kind of see a wee bit like, you know, like Muckage Dave. Do you know who he is? Man. He's good.
Yeah,
there's a bit that sort of stuff.
Well, I think that's what I was definitely, and there's elements of that now still on. That's really like kind of you, man. By the way, I'm so glad that came out because, Murky Stage, he saved my life, as he says. He's insanely good, and he's good at doing those emotional bars as well and introspective stuff. But in fact, I'd love to make a project or an EP that was really similar to that. That's like really lo-fi and downbeat and like for the clubs. But I can't really. I can't do this thing where it's like, even when I'm like live, I can't come out on stage, and I wish I could just like stare people down and just do this thing where I was like super cool all the way through and then just like leave. And I was like, everyone was like, this guy was fucking like so composed.
Would you just find it too intense if you were to do something like that? If you were to,
I'd feel like I was pretending. I'd feel like I was doing an act, and I've done stuff where I've done that before in terms of like, I was a teacher for years.
Were you an English teacher? Were you an English teacher?
Yeah, at high school.
Really? But how did you just like, how did you go from that to
They all knew, the kids all knew that I weren't supposed to be there, I think. There was like a form and they were like, I was lucky, man. They liked me and stuff. I hope most of them anyway. They'll fucking see this and I was a prick. But they were all like, nah, sir, you're defo this. And I was like, no, and you pretending to do this act. But they're amazing. Like I was teaching for a few years, and like some of them old enough now to like come through to the gigs and stuff. And like their parents have come to the gigs, and now like my voice has been on the radio.
Yeah.
And obviously my surname being like super unique.
Yeah.
I've like had loads of like their parents and stuff from parents evening coming over. I was at a gig the other night and someone came over. And I'm like, oh yeah, but I've kind of gone from I'm used to being recognized everywhere I go because I teach people. So everyone's like, oh, Mr. Szmierek, sir. And now I don't know if people know me from, I'm like, did I used to teach you, or have you heard the music? It's like,
yeah. Like to be honest, I was listening to a podcast. There's like these guys from Glasgow. It's called Riley's Gaff. So they do like.
Oh mate, I fucking love that guy.
Evan Riley. Mate, do you know what? You might be the only person in England to like, because I remember. I was listening to one of his like recently, the last podcast I listened to, like he was like that. He was like, oh, like we could never make it down south because like. I think Scotland, like, because I
don't know,
because some of the stuff they'll hit out with, you'll probably just be like, what are they talking about?
Yeah,
like, it's like the slang.
I fucking love that though. I love that. Like, I'm a big Limmy fan as well. I thought I'd get through this without mentioning Limmy.
Mate, class, man, class.
Yeah, fucking like me and our kid, all we watch is Limmy clips all the time. But that Riley's Gaff, a sick podcast anyway. There's quotes in that I use all the time, like from his like sketches and that. You've actually lost it, mucker, and all these things. That's what I make Kate all the time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put on a dodgy accent and try and do a clever accent.
But he had do you know Ewan McVickers?
Yeah.
So he had him on his podcast, and he's a guy from like, there's a place called Ayr in Glasgow. Like, it's just not in Glasgow, it's in like kind of outside Glasgow. But there's like nothing that goes on there. But like he was saying that like he actually used to be a primary school teacher, I'm pretty sure, and then he just like he went to uni, and then he was like, yeah, like this is not for me, and then obviously went to produce music, and then during lockdown he made Tell Me Something Good, and then it just went exponential.
I had no idea that Ewan McVicker used to be a teacher. Me, I had no idea. No way. No, I think he's amazing, and like what he's doing for Scotland as well in terms of like. You're doing that like home. Did you get tickets for his homecoming tour? Or any But like it's so mad because like even like listening to his podcast, he was like that. Like, oh, like I could go and play, like everyone's like, oh, what's your dream gig? It's like, oh, it must be like DC-10 or Amnesia or like sell out like space or like somewhere in Ibiza. And he's like, do you know what? Like I just want to host a festival in Ayr, like, and it's just off my terms, man. I get that feeling, and I do get that. I'm from a town called Hyde, Hyde, which is Greater Manchester, so it's like 10 minutes away. I'm in Manchester. now in like South Manchester for a few years. But yeah, I'm from here, but I'm from this like a shitey little town. And that's what I think a little bit. I always like when I visualize like this big, like if I had the capacity to do anything, I'd be like, I'd do like outside the town hall where fucking Bargain Busters is and CEX and Pound Stretcher and all that, and just like have some mad gig. I get that feeling because that's what you imagine when you're a kid, and that's what you imagine when you're at school. They're you imagine that are the big things. So I do get that. I didn't know that about you, Vicky. You've taught me something. I'm gonna.
You should, mate, honestly listen to his podcast. It's good, man. It's good.
I've not heard that either of Riley's gaff, so I think I'll listen to that one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Maybe I'll try and slide in now. Do you want to make it? Do you like poems even?
Yeah, definitely.
I did with Barry Can't Swim. When I was getting like the first initial thing, I messaged him and was like, "Yo, if you want any, blah blah," and he was dead kind, man. He wrote back and said, "I've heard the tune," so I'm still blown away by it all. And this is, I guess, I imagine it's pretty normal in like music. But he was dead. He was so like he was mint about it, and he was like, "Yeah, I'd love to." You know, he wanted a Scottish accent, and that's not. He wanted a Scottish spoken word thing, or actually, I'm probably fucking ruining his surprises here. He said that's what he wanted, and he wanted anything to get back in touch. But he's another one in sound. There you go.
Nice one. So on to collabs. Who's your favourite person to collab with?
What you mean, like who I actually have collaborated?
Yeah. Favorite person to like do a tune with?
Like a dream scenario.
No, just kind of like your favorite person to work with just now.
All right. Okay. Cool. Well, like Robin's my guy in terms of bouncing ideas off. It's a small circle, like so far, to be fair, because I'm doing it on my own. Robin Parker, he's like plays keyboards now in the band. So we've got a good working relationship. I've just worked with two lads here actually on the EP. Chat comes out 28th of October. It's called Poems to Dance To. And that's like the first EP sort of since things started going well and I stopped recording things in my wardrobe. But worked with a lad called Luis Navidad. I hope that's his real name. It's not. It's just his fucking stage name. But he was in a group called Barmely, and we did a tune. We've done a tune together called "Rock in a Calm Place." It's going to be on the EP, exclusive. Yeah, fucking, I'm revealing all my secrets. Yeah, that's going to be the third track on the EP, and he was amazing in the studio. He was like, we did like a vibe take, he called it, where we'd recorded loads of takes of the vocal, and it's a spoken word vocal again, but it's over this like really like jumpy, celebratory beat with like horns on it and stuff. It's sick. We did this take where we just put the mics on a few times and started like dancing around to this tune, and we were like screaming, dancing, and throwing shit about, and that's in the background of the track.
Wait, Man City or Man United?
Oh, that's a good question. United, but I don't give a shit. Don't care.
Do you not know? Fair enough.
Don't care about football, really. I get it. And like, I understand why people like it. And I'll go and watch football in the pub, and I'll watch it like that. And that's why I think I ski United, because my mates are United fans. I've watched their big games or whatever. But yeah, I think it's because I was raised by my mum, like I was saying before. I wasn't raised by my dad around. And my mum's not watching football. So I ain't got room for it now. I haven't got like room for learning the fucking history of where everyone's going and all this. I get it, and it's like a gig. It's like live music. It's a communal experience. It gives people belonging. It gives people a sense of belonging to something. And I'll still like watch that like fucking Sunderland Till I Die documentary.
Yeah.
And I was like, I get it. I do get it, but I ain't got room. What about you? Are you
Rangers, mate? Glasgow Rangers. It's Glasgow. It's like two teams, Rangers and Celtic. They are like it's just like.
So you Rangers?
Yeah, Rangers, man. Rangers, yeah.
Nice.
But like it's like up in Glasgow, you like see if it's like a derby day, it's like totally like they have the derbies like every Sunday. It's like usually Sunday at 12 o'clock, so that there's like no like it's mad because they know if they do it Saturday there'll just be trouble and stuff.
Yeah, it is fucking mad. There's mad rivalries like that, but I do know Celtic Rangers is a big one. Are they like So do you go down and fucking go mad and smash it up and stuff as well while you're having your ice cream?
No. No, that's it. I mean, I get sad. I get sad if that was the case.
The listener, he's not said anything about that before we recorded this, and we have spoke about the ice cream. And ice cream, we'll go there later.
Yeah, definitely, man. So when you first started to produce tracks, did you do? Obviously, you kind of said you'd done it or alluded to the fact you'd done it from home. What software did you use? Fruit Loops or Ableton?
I used the first thing I used was Audacity, which is a free.
I use that to edit my podcast. Like you like noise reducer.
Mate, highlight the noise reduction. Banging.
Yeah. Compress, equalize, and normalize, mate.
Yeah, and I'm like, whoa, compress. Whoa, this sounds sick now. That's what I was using at first because I had no money, and then I did the first EP. That's funny that you know what it is. I did the first EP, Giving Up for Beginners, on Audacity, but it was the 60-day free trial. So I had 60 days to make it. And it literally went to like 2 days before, and then it ran out, and I was like, right, I've done it. But I actually gave myself the 60 days to make it, and then it ran out, and I never renewed it. No, I got another free trial after for a second when I was doing the singles. But I've never paid for it. I'm skint. One day, man. I know you have there's the perception of things as well. You get like on free social media, and that I was talking about it to my mates last night. I think I've got everything that I need at the moment, and I'm super lucky with, management and PR and all these things that have like now jumped on board, which is really surreal. I got no money. I've still got no money. Still skint. So one day, this time next year, hopefully I've got money to like fucking
get like a setup.
Yeah, man, it would be nice. It'd be nice to not be on the Ableton free trial.
Yeah, mate. To be fair, I knew someone that I tried to make music for a bit when I was starting to DJing and that, and I knew someone that could get us Fruit Loops for free. Yeah, basically, it's like take it, like just take off firewall and then like download it, and then like honestly, I was up till like 3 a.m. doing it, like downloading it.
That's what I need. I need someone to guide me through that sort of process. But I do think I know people who could probably get me a like torrented Ableton or whatever. But I'd be shitting that like I'd lose all my. I'd be thinking, what if this thing gets fucking corrupted and all my stuff's gone? I don't know. I'm a little bit paranoid.
Yeah, true, man. True. So how was your first live performance, and when did you do it? Was it after COVID?
It was just after COVID, to the point where we thought it was going to get. I'm looking at my phone now. I'm looking at when the date was. So it's the end of September. It was genuinely just over a year ago. It was August. And it was in this, like, we sold it out, man. It was so sick. It was like 120 people. We sold it out. I had no idea. Like, we've not played with the band or anything before. And it was this place. It's like everything in Manchester is this, but it's like, it was under a train tunnel, like a lock. So it was like a curved brick tunnel, basically.
So like they had actually, like you're probably describing it like an old club in Glasgow. There was a thing called the Arches. And it was under the railway bridge, and it was like an arch. It was brick.
Yeah, there's so many of them here, and it's exactly that. And it's under the tram line, under the tramways. Yeah, that was amazing because everyone came basically, and that was it's a lot of pressure. Like it's like trying to have a birthday party and a gig. And when it got to the bit where we got to play, and it's quite fun. We played like a full hour, which we don't do that. We play half an hour. It's funny, like we did this massive set, and there was like. Yeah, it was like covers. We did a Sweet Like Chocolate cover with Yemi Bolatiwa, who sings on Working Classic now, and she's like a fucking well-good vocalist, and she's giving it the like, love is the luck is the key. Da, da, da. And I was just like playing with this like real soul singer or whatever, and like trying to keep it. Yeah, but it was a sick gig, man. To be fair, we've done loads since,
But like, I mean, it's kind of like one of those ones like. I take it you're trying to like host it, like get everything ready, so you're like stressed. You're always trying to do like a job. I bet you there's the people that come up and go like, Antony, and you're just like mate, like just I've got like all this stuff to do.
Exactly that. Like my mum was there.
Yeah.
I'd like put these like local bands and like artists on to support. So I wanted to make sure it was okay for them. I played like in an indie band for a little bit, where I did like we just did covers and stuff. Did like Arctic Monkeys covers and like. The Black Keys and the Strokes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I've done a bit with like sound techs and stuff before, but even that, like trying to pretend that you know exactly what you're doing. And I'm like, really, I'm not. you know, like kind of a bit more of this in my monitors and all that sort of stuff, which we've got used to now. But at the time, you're trying to
winging it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you don't know what you're doing, especially when there's like 120 people who paid money to come.
Definitely.
But yeah, it was good, man. It was a vibe. It was really, really fun. It was good. That's the best. The live shows. That's the reason I do it. Mm-hmm. I just want. That's all I want to do. Just want to play some shows. Want to play the festivals next year. Mm-hmm. That's it. And then I'm happy, really.
So what's our future plans that you got and up and coming, and what sort of gigs have you got like next year? You sort of mentioned festivals there.
Yeah, man. Well, it started to. I've got people like on that now, which is nice. I'm not organizing my own gigs, and you know, I've got a booking agent and stuff. So there'll be some stuff announced soon. Hopefully, we get some stuff up in Scotland. But
I'll come see you. I'll come see you.
Yeah, man, it'd be so good. It would be nice to meet you in real life.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
When you've done something like this.
Yeah.
We've got a gig on this Friday at Yes in Manchester. We're playing with Une Pinku and Regressive Left, with these like fucking mint bands. And then we've got a big one actually, 11th of October. I don't know if that'll be after this has gone out or before this has gone out in real time. But that's the first headline we've got in London. That's at the Grace in London, which feels mental. That'll be people I don't know. That's like the first real like I don't know anyone in this room. Yeah. And I know it sounds mad, but like they've literally caught me right at the beginning of everything. Like I've got to a point now where it's like industry people come in as well, and like people I respect and know of and stuff. So it's a lot of pressure, but I do just like playing live. I've done a lot of scary things, like being a teacher and doing spoken word, and you're on your own on the microphone is probably more nerve-wracking. It's like a lot more fun having a band, and you know, we know the tunes now, and it's like it's just nice that we've got to this point. But yeah, I gassed about that. And then like I say, so that my focus really is that gig on the 11th and putting like a headline show together that's you know, a bit more of a progression from what we've been doing over the summer. And then we've got the EP. So my EP comes out on the 28th of October. It's called Poems to Dance To. And that's like 7 tunes. It's like there's like 4 brand new ones on it. It's quite long. And like Hitchhiker, Working Classic, and another one of the The City Is Safe With You. It's another one that's already out, like an older tune. I'm so excited because even putting Working Classic, there's been other versions before. And like my mates know it. Like the people who used to all my music was for, like my mates and stuff here, they all know it. So I was a bit like, oh, it's a bit weird putting out an old tune. But then I've still not got in my head that most people who are listening to my stuff I don't know anymore.
Yeah, And then probably people that are probably like just totally new to it, like myself, like just stumble up on it.
Yeah, which is really nice that people are starting to do that. You know, I still like look at the monthly listeners and that on Spotify, and I'm like, fucking hell, who are all these people?
I mean, I'm the same with the podcast. Like, so like with me, it's kind of like I just kind of put it out for like my mates and stuff. And like sometimes you get the odd one, like you have a guest on, and it's like, well, this is actually doing bits. This is like still doing bits sort of thing. Like I remember, like there was a guy, Ian Melrose. He's from like he's like a grime MC from like Glasgow. But mate, honestly, you should check his stuff out, man. It's proper class. And it's like it's on YouTube and stuff. He's got like music videos that are all like in the cars and stuff like that. But it's just the usual kind of like grime.
But I love that.
But like his like video, honestly, I see it like it's like every day it's like a few views, just a few views.
That's really nice. Yeah, exactly.
It still goes on,
and hopefully that's the same here. Like it'll just keep getting a few or whatever in terms of like, you know, if I do well, you do well. If you do well, I do well. It's fine.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely, man. But like, I mean, like, there's some people that like, I kind of always like kind of with me, it's like I don't know if you're the same. Like, it's weird because like the way to advertise stuff now is like through reels. So like you just go like so it's like you'll probably put like a reel up of you doing Hitchhiker's Guide to Fallacy, like there's stuff like that, man. It's mad.
That leaks into everything. It's well annoying. We're obviously like just fucking slaves to this algorithm all the time, and it'll change. But it's like even filming music videos and stuff. Annoyingly, in my head, I'm like, well, no one really watches. Or like people who are into my stuff aren't big on YouTube anyway. So I'm like, we just need to do stuff Insta where it's getting like 10,000 views rather than on like if we're doing something that's like big widescreen thing for YouTube, it's not getting no one's there for that yet. So you do get into that mentality. I had to really get out of the mentality when I was first starting to go well. I was like looking at shit like, how can I make a reel out of this? Like, live your life, just live your life, man. I've thankfully got out of that a little bit.
Definitely, man, definitely. So, obviously, the last question, the best till last.
I don't know yet.
So, it's the Valentini's 2-scoop combo. What are you gonna pick?
I feel like this is a lot of pressure. I've got the menu up here. Right. So, my initial I've got to go to this place. By the way, that's a new life goal of mine, to go to Valentini's for sure.
I see when you come up. I'll take you up.
Oh, mate, amazing.
Mate, don't yeah, but like it's obviously we couldn't then do the swap, the house swap.
Yeah, true.
That's the only thing. Yeah. I'd want to show you about the place.
I don't know if there's any good ice cream places down, and there's loads of like fucking boring corporate ones. You got good food. Anyway, right? Let me focus on this because I'm panicking. So like my initially, and this is a rogue choice, I've gone mango sorbet.
Because you're feeling in a mango mood.
Yes. How can I do? I'm gonna replicate the like. That's like I played a big tune. That was the pyro that I've just replicated.
Was that deodorant can, yeah?
Yeah, it stinks now as well. It's carbon protect 5-in-1. Mate, you knew that. But yeah, that was why I was like, how can I link this? How can I link this into my branding? But that's my mate Tom that on that voice note. He does that, and that's a real voice note.
Is that not like was that not something that went viral? Was that not like a video or something that went, or was it like a voice note?
It's my mate Tom ordering from our local takeaway Continental.
Really?
Everyone buzzes off that now. But it's not pre-recorded or it's not scripted. It was literally a voice note he sent to the group chat. Does anyone want anything from Continental? And I was like, nah, I'm fine or whatever. And then he was driving here. It's my brother who sent the message. Actually, he was driving here. So in the car, recorded his voice out, and he's like, wings meal, garlic mayo all over the wings and the chips, and a can of mango, please, because I'm feeling it. And it was like, I was like, mate, I'm sampling it. And he didn't believe me. And now fucking annoyingly, the one track I'm not on that's my own, that I like made this guy's thing around with the help from Robin, and that just Tom's on, and everyone's always like, oh, I love that mango mood tune. I'm like, I'm not even fucking on it. I'm not even on that one.
Yeah. But is it like, do other people use that like voice note, or is that just yours? Because I feel like I've heard it somewhere else. I don't know if it's
maybe. I don't know. Maybe it happened. Maybe it started. Maybe it's a TikTok trend and I'm not even realized. No, but it was just it's mine. So if you fucking see anyone using that, you tell me, man. So my mind went there first, but you can't. What we're talking about, the 2-scoop combo, and you can't put mangoes. It's the only sorbet. I can't mix it with like a curly whirly. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Could you mix it with like a cookies and cookie dough or something?
And it's like a bit like starter and main course. I like that idea. I don't want the fresh banana for me. Not is a big no. Like I like the flavor of fake banana. You know, like Nesquik banana. I don't want it to
like foam bananas. Remember the
like foam bananas.
Sweet bananas, yeah.
Yeah, mate. I want it to taste like that. I don't want if it tastes like a real banana, you can get fucked. Don't want that. I'm presuming snowball ice sounds like
quality, mate. Quality. It's quality. Do you know what it is? It's like vanilla ice cream with a snowball smashed into it and raspberry ripple.
Right, bang. Oh, has it got raspberry ripple in it as well?
Yeah, man.
Right, I'm told then. Right, okay, sound. I'll have one of them. I'll have 1 scoop of snowball ice, and I'll have another scoop of mango sorbet. And I'll have them in the same tub. I don't care. It don't really go together, but judge me all you want. What's your order?
Mine's is always like Kinder cookie dough or like Biscoff cookie dough, maybe. Like I kind of go for like this kind of.
It's because you've gone all the way to Valentini's as well, and you want the real premium shit as well. You're not messing about with experiments like I am.
Best of gear, man. That's what it is. Yeah. Wait, do you know what I actually like? I remember like because we all used to go and I took a picture of the menu and I put it on like Instagram, and there was this guy in my waters like because like people kept on like commenting their like their combos. Yeah. So but I didn't want to at people at it in my stories, so I was just kept on posting them. And this guy in my work was like, oh, like, I just thought you were heavy board, and just went and just started going like, what would be a good combo, and just started putting all these down and stuff.
Really embarrassing social media stuff all the time. Yeah,
definitely. Nah. Anyway, Antony, thanks very much for coming on. If you're interested in Antony's music, links will be posted in the description, mate. Antony Szmierek, if you're up for coming to Glasgow, give us a shout, and I'll show you about, bro.
I promise. I'll be up there at some point, and you'll be first port of call, and we'll go get a Valentini's. We'll have a few pints, and I'll go and play a show, and then we'll go to some mad afters.